What's up, wrestling fans? You're watching Fight Talks News, the one-stop spot for every WWE headline and showdown. Subscribe now and ring that bell. Let's get started. WWE fans around the world were taken by surprise when reports surfaced of a quiet hospital visit that sent shockwaves through the wrestling community. Former Shield member Jon Moxley, known to WWE fans as the unpredictable, unrelenting force who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, was spotted at a local medical facility where Seth Rollins has been recovering. The visit, unannounced and away from the cameras, felt like something out of a wrestling script. But this time, it was real life. According to sources close to the situation, Moxley entered discreetly, without the fanfare or publicity one might expect from two legends of the modern wrestling era. He wasn't there to promote a storyline, record a segment, or stir speculation. He came for one reason: to see his old brother in arms. A painful chapter for Seth Rollins. For Rollins, the weeks leading up to this moment had been anything but easy. Following the brutal 2-on-1 attack by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed on Raw, the former world champion suffered multiple injuries that forced him off television indefinitely. Fans witnessed the savage assault unfold live, leaving Rollins battered and broken, both physically and emotionally. It was the kind of moment that reminded everyone how much pain hides behind the spectacle of professional wrestling. In the aftermath, Rollins disappeared from public view, retreating into a recovery period filled with uncertainty about when, or even if, he would be able to step back into the ring. And that's when Moxley showed up, reigniting emotions many fans thought had long since faded into history. Brothers beyond the business. What made this encounter so meaningful wasn't just nostalgia. It was the reminder that behind the storylines, betrayals, and championship belts, there exists a brotherhood, one forged through years of shared struggle. The Shield wasn't just a faction, it was a family that changed WWE forever. Back in 2012, when Moxley, Rollins, and Reigns first appeared from the crowd, they redefined what it meant to dominate as a unit. Each man carried a different energy: Moxley's chaos, Rollins' precision, Reigns' power, but together they were unstoppable. Over the years, their paths diverged. Reigns became the face of the company. Rollins carved out his legacy as an architect of greatness, and Moxley walked away from WWE entirely, seeking freedom and authenticity elsewhere. Yet, time has a way of bringing even the most distant souls back into orbit. A private conversation that spoke volumes. According to witnesses, Moxley and Rollins spoke privately for nearly an hour. No cameras, no press, no social media posts, just two men sitting across from each other, reconnecting after years of separation. One witness described the atmosphere as intense but respectful. It wasn't a reunion filled with jokes or lighthearted nostalgia. It felt heavier, like something was being reconciled or perhaps reignited. Moxley reportedly told Rollins, "You're not alone anymore." Those 5 words have since ignited an inferno of speculation across the WWE Universe. Was this a sign of solidarity from one brother to another? Or could it be the spark that leads to something far greater, a new chapter for the Shield, or a completely new alliance forged in pain and redemption? Healing and reflection for Rollins. For Seth Rollins, this moment likely carried deep emotional weight. Few wrestlers have lived through as many evolutions as he has. From the architect to the messiah to the visionary. Every transformation reflected his ability to adapt, rebuild, and rise from the ashes. But even the strongest need support, especially when injury and isolation strike. Moxley's visit wasn't just symbolic, it was human. It reminded Rollins that even though the business often separates people through rivalries and brands, true bonds transcend the ring. It was a gesture that cut through the noise of wrestling politics, one that might very well help fuel Rollins' eventual comeback. Moxley's motives, a mystery. Worth-watching fans are now divided on what this meeting could mean. Some believe Moxley's gesture was purely personal, an emotional reconnection between old friends who shared years of war together. Others can't help but wonder if there's something more, perhaps a hint of what's to come. Could Moxley be considering a WWE return, even temporarily, to help Rollins fight back against Breakker and Reed? The idea sounds far-fetched given Moxley's current commitments outside WWE. But wrestling has proven time and again that nothing is impossible. If there's one man who thrives on unpredictability, it's Jon Moxley. The Shield's legacy still echoes. Even after a decade, the Shield remains one of the most iconic stables in wrestling history. Their unity, dominance, and eventual implosion are etched permanently into WWE lore. The possibility of Moxley and Rollins finding common ground again, even briefly, has rekindled that emotional connection fans still feel toward their brotherhood. Their story was never truly about wins or titles. It was about loyalty tested through fire. Perhaps this quiet meeting represents closure, or maybe it's the first flicker of something new, a reminder that while time moves forward, true bonds never truly die. Fans react with emotion and hope. Across social media, fans have responded with overwhelming emotion. Many expressed hope that this meeting could mark a long-awaited reconciliation, if not an on-screen reunion. Others simply appreciated the humanity behind the gesture. "That's real brotherhood," one fan wrote. "Forget storylines. This is what family looks like." Another commented, "Even after everything, Moxley still showed up. That says it all. In an era where everything is filmed and broadcasted, the quietness of this visit spoke louder than any promo or storyline ever could." The unwritten chapter ahead. As of now, neither Rollins nor Moxley has publicly commented on the meeting, and WWE has remained silent as well. But fans know better than to mistake silence for insignificance. Sometimes, the most powerful moments in wrestling happen outside the ring, where the lines between real and scripted blur into something deeply human. Whether this leads to an emotional WWE return for Moxley or simply remains a heartfelt chapter in their shared story, one thing is clear. The connection between these men runs deeper than rivalries and contracts. A story of brotherhood, resilience, and redemption. At its core, this isn't just about potential returns or dream reunions. It's about the endurance of brotherhood. Moxley didn't have to visit. He didn't owe anyone an appearance, least of all the company he once walked away from. But he did it anyway. That decision, quiet, personal, and profoundly human, speaks to something far greater than wrestling. It's about respect. It's about remembering where you came from and the people who stood beside you through every victory and every wound. The unpredictable road ahead. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will Seth Rollins recover and rise again with Moxley at his side? Will the echoes of the Shield return to reshape WWE's landscape, or will this remain a single powerful gesture of friendship in a business often defined by rivalry? Whatever the outcome, this encounter reminds fans why they fell in love with wrestling in the first place. It's not just about athleticism or spectacle. It's about emotion, connection, and the stories that continue long after the lights go out. As Rollins heals and Moxley moves forward, fans wait with anticipation, wondering if fate will once again unite two brothers who once vowed to take on the world together. Whether in the ring or beyond it, their story isn't over. It's simply entering a new chapter.